Empire Waist is a heartfelt and humorous debut feature by Claire Ayoub, based on her personal essay, Notes to My 12-Year-Old Self. The film stars Mia Kaplan as Lenore Miller and Jemima Yevu as Kayla, plus-size teens trying to navigate the harsh realities of high school, in theaters September 27th. My first question for you, Claire, is why was the time now to make this film?
You know what? I wrote this back when in 2015 when I was 26 years old, and this was a big basically to make people feel less alone about their body image struggles, because I started writing about body image, and the response to writing about how I quit swimming when I was 12 ended up, having this overwhelming response of people talking about what they quit. And that was back when I was 25. I got back in the pool after stopping swimming because I was too ashamed in my body. Like I stopped doing something I love. And, what was really important to me was making sure I was in a space to write about it. So I wrote the first draft in 2015 when I was 26. And wow, if you ever want to pull up all the trauma in your body in a month, it doesn't go well, right? So I basically put that script away for 4 years and went to therapy, did that deep work, came out, really did the work to learn to love myself so I could tell other people to do the same. And I picked it back up in 2019 and really knew after live reading, seeing how it was responding with people, that I knew at that point it was bigger than me and it had to be made. And the most beautiful thing about this project is it transcends generations. Right now, the script resonated with people from 14 to 84. The movie resonates with people from 8 to 90 plus. Like it is something that really touches people. And that is thanks to our casting crew who made it happen. So could not have asked for a better time, a better team. And especially now, it's so much social media and tweens and kids really seeing filtered everything, seeing, we're in Y2K fashion, which is not friendly to most bodies, right? So looking at that, I was like, oh God, it's back. Are you okay? So for us, it's never a wrong time to talk about body image. It's never a wrong time to hold space for people who are feeling alone and feeling, shame. To really get to the root of it so they can start talking and feel like they have a confidant, they have a support system for them, that we're not alone, whether that's your friends or your family, or a therapist. We love therapy, we love boundaries on Team Empire Waste, both two very important things.
Yes. Mima, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Good. How are you?
Good. Can you describe your character and what she means to be plus size and black, and what that meant for you playing her?
Yeah. So I often say that Kayla is kind of a persona that I used to put on in high school, and being able to live that out and put it on screen and put it into a world where a lot of people need to hear a message where like your body is just your body was so important for me. And then also the aspect of me being like a dark skinned black woman, a dark skinned plus size black woman, you know, I think like it itself is just like a very like it's really revolutionary and really important that people are able to see that type of representation on screen. Yeah.
Yes, they do, because I needed that when I was younger. I'm much older than you ladies, but yeah, I could have used that, and I love that. Hi,
Yeah.
Mia. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you too.
I heard you recently talk about having a fat day with your friends. What does your fat day consist of?
Oh my goodness. Well, it really depends on what's needed for the soul. But typically it'll involve some sort of coffee shop and some complaining. And then often often going to an Old Navy or a Torrid or a store in which we can go into a dressing room and try on things that fit. Because it's not very common.
Right.
Or sunglass shopping. Sunglasses are a great accessory that fit everyone.
Yeah.
So typically something along those lines, and just having some fun. Also, love a good outdoor fat day where you're not the only fat person in a bathing suit,
Yes.
or just living life in a tank top outside with your arms out and proud with multiple people flapping around and having a great time.
I love that. And can you talk about your character and what she means
Yeah.
to you?
Lenore, I say, is the version of myself that wasn't healed. And through this film, I went through a lot of healing personally and going along the journey with Lenore, and she is creative and passionate and curious and is blinded by this fear, and she's able to find confidence in this friend that walks into her life and really just shakes it up. And getting to do that with Mima and just have a ball on that set was the privilege of a
Oh,
lifetime.
I bet it was so much fun. Claire, can you talk about the casting process and why these two ladies were perfect for the roles?
Oh my God, were they perfect? Yeah. So for
Yeah.
casting, honestly, we did a nationwide casting call because we realized a lot of industry or a lot of agencies did not have the bodies we were looking for that were on the page. For Lenore, that was a size 18 plus. For Kayla, that was a dark-skinned woman, size 24 plus. That was very important to us. And we kept getting pushback from agencies saying, well, if you consider rewriting the role,
Oh,
and especially talking about colorism in the industry, we really wanted to have Kayla be a role model who is a dark-skinned woman who could really be a role model for everybody, as well as kids. The coolest thing has been seeing high schoolers after they see Mia and Mima on screen and like run up to take pictures with them and like blow up their DMs because they feel so seen. It's like I just stood back and I was like, oh, this is everything. Don't mind me, I'm crying. But we worked with Rory Bergman and her casting team, and they were phenomenal. And, we had 3,500 applications come in from across the country for all 5 of our key actors, including our Lenore and Kayla, which is how we met Mima, which is amazing. And when I saw her video, I was like, oh my God, it's her, it's you,
yeah.
which was just the best. And I got to meet Mia when you were, I think, 18 or 17, when you were still in high school. And so Mia was one of the first people we met and was really a standout. And then for the rest of our cast, we were looking for disabled actors to play Marcy. We opened it up from not just physical disability, but any kind of disability, visible, invisible. And the sheer amount of talent out there for our 5 leads was astonishing and is just being used as a case study now of how Hollywood can do better, of how there's so much talent out there that aren't being considered worthy of being invested in. And that's on Hollywood, right? So
Yeah.
for us, that was really important. And we did like all of our auditions. It was like the height of COVID. So everything was on Zoom. We all got very used to Zoom. And something I talk about a lot with this was seeing these two together for their first like chemistry read, their only chemistry read, I think. And just all of us sitting back and just being like, this is them. This is the two of you. Like it was so beautiful. And so working with our team, everyone, in addition to being talented, were such great team players and we're really passionate about this story and feeling seen. And so one of my favorite things to do during rehearsals was I would put everyone in a room, in a Zoom room, and I'd go, it's not fun with mom here. Y'all just hang out, like get to know each
Yeah.
other. I'd leave. And like it was the best because I think 2 of you like stayed on for I think 5 hours. I think it was Daisy and Cassandra
And
stayed on for like 5
Cassandra, yeah.
hours. And it was really cool because, when you're together on set, especially as young performers, I knew I couldn't be everywhere. And so really setting up a space for them to be able to lean on me and my producer, Crystal Collins, but also each other was really beautiful to see. And that love and leadership really radiated out from this group, especially these two, in every space they went on set, everyone was treated with respect. I remember I kept having to be like, Mima, because you were busy telling people, figuring out what people's signs were at the party scene. You're like, oh, you're
Yeah.
oh my God, what a gift. But that kind of energy on a set, especially one that talks about tough topics like body image, is so huge. Is so huge. And so I could not have asked for a better process with our casting process because we found this team that embodies these characters. And also when it comes to representation on screen, they're writing their own projects, right? They're writing their own work and directing their own work and, wanting to see people like them on screen in genres they love. So these two are writing great stuff too. So it's the most exciting as kind of the Empire Waste incubator process of being like, well, you made my dream happen. What do you want? What do you want to make? And we support the hell out.
I love that. And I also have to give a shout out. I think I told you in the DM, one of my favorite characters, Honor, played by Tabiana Ali, who's one of my favorite actresses.
Y'all,
So
how much
yeah.
do we love Tabby?
Yeah.
We love Tabby so
We love
much.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
Oh, honestly, Tabby, what a force of nature. Like her
Mhm.
callback was one of my favorites because I basically was like, okay, Tabby, it was a scene where she pops in on Kayla in the hallway to go like, "Hey."
Yeah.
And I was like, can you pop up from behind the camera? And she just basically was like, "Hey," in right. And I was like, it's her. And so her energy is unreal. The role of Honor was so beautiful because, her friend's the mean girl, and we really see
Mhm.
her struggling and see her step into her own power. And her comedic timing is so good. Her commitment is so good, but she also shadowed me and my team behind the scenes because she's a writer and a director. And, it's something we offer to the whole team. Mia was like, I want to do it. I was like, you're on set every minute. Like, you get a shadow one day, which I love. But,
Yeah.
Tabi really came on set to shadow, to learn, and ask great questions, took in as much as possible. And just in her work with Saving Our Daughters, I love seeing her work with
Mhm.
nonprofits and mentoring others. So just really walks the walk as a creator and then as a great role model. We
Yeah,
love
she does.
her.
Yes. Love her too. So this question is for all of you. What would you go back and tell your younger self about self-confidence if you could?
Oh, I love that. I think really that you're worthy exactly as you are. Just that
Mhm.
permission that you're worthy right now.
Mhm.
You don't have to wait until you're a certain size. You don't have to wait until you are acceptable, big air quotes, right? To
Right.
do what you love and to do something bravely. So that's what I would tell myself.
Awesome. What about you, Mia?
Say you are so loved and nobody cares. No, like
Yeah.
you're your biggest critic, and like wear the shorts.
Yeah.
Where
Yes,
the
wear the shorts. Yeah, that's a good one. Mima.
Yeah, that you have a whole world in front of you. It does not stop at your body. Like, it does not stop at your body. Get out of your head. Get out of your
Mm,
head. Yeah.
I love that.
I love that. So, Mima and Mia, how are you most like your characters and how are you different?
Hmm.
I think Kayla's kind of is loud and I'm loud. I can project a lot and I feel like especially now like that I'm like I feel grounded.
Mhm.
I don't because I float through the world. And Kayla kind of just floats through the world and just like is very curious and very like, I feel like she's very receptive. And I just feel like that's how I am.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that I mean I'm an artist, and Lenore is an artist, and
Hmm.
like is just fascinated by the people around her and gets her support
Hmm.
through her friends and her family, and like just that sort of community is so important to her, and I think that's also very important to me. And I think I'm different because I'm also very loud, and Lenore is
She's not.
very much not loud
Yeah.
at all, and I love making jokes and bits, and I don't see Lenore doing that very much,
Hmm.
but maybe now that she's healed, she'll do more of
Yeah.
that.
My favorite thing is when people are like, so is the person who plays Lenore really shy? And I just burst out laughing. I'm like, this is the most theater kid of theater kids you've ever met in your life. Like anything's a stage when Mia Kaplan is in the room. Like just the best. So truly acting.
Truly.
Truly
Yeah.
acting.
Um, Claire, what do you we've seen a change in acceptance. We're still not where we should be, but over the years since surely since you and I were coming up
Yes.
with body image and body size and being bigger, and what do you think what do you attribute that to?
I honestly attribute it to more conversations on social media.
Hmm.
Because clearly our traditional media has so far to go, like really
Hmm.
transitioning from what we talk about on social. And so for me, and I'm pretty sure it's the same thing for you, seeing younger voices or seeing people that are younger age, see folks of all different body types, disabilities, everything, speaking as themselves in their power, right? I love, you know, I've met so many designers and models through this who are, you know, from backgrounds that are not held as like a beautiful standard or like the traditional standard in modeling. And you look at them, you're like, how can you tell me that person is not a model? How can you tell me that person isn't a designer, right? So it's really beautiful of really challenging those standards and incorrect standards that, you know, they're just blatantly untrue. And so for us, it's been really cool to see the reception of young people. And that for a lot of it has been, it's older people like millennials and up who are really healing their inner child. Because younger people are like, wait, of course you can, like, I like to make my own clothes. Like I can't find stuff that fits me, so I make it. Or like, I follow this amazing retailer who like has clothes in my size because I love colors and I love fashion. And it's not even about like, air quotes, what's flattering anymore. It's like, what do you want to wear? And that change has been really beautiful. And I'm very excited to keep that going and bring it to mainstream media. And this movie is going to be coming out around the world. And the international response from our trailer of people saying they felt seen, of seeing our actors and seeing them taking up space and being there for each other and being vulnerable with each other. We're just so excited for that to launch conversations between teens, but also adults, you know, whether it's a caregiver, a parent or a guardian, a foster parent and their kids, or, you know, adults talking to each other. So I had, you know, someone who's in her 70s with 4 adult daughters come up to me after a reading and go, I thought I was helping. I need to call my kids, right? Of really starting that conversation. So we've definitely come so far from when we were growing up, but wow, do we have so far to go. That pushback is real. So we do a lot of chatting together as a team of, you know, when we see people posting really cruel stuff, when we see people posting stuff, you know, talking about our bodies, which is so weird to spend your time in a basement making videos about teen girls' bodies. What's wrong with you? You're so
like, get a job, get on Indeed,
or like a hobby. Go volunteer at a soup kitchen. What are you doing?
Like,
right.
So we really, you know, don't let that bullying, or we have really open conversations with each other too about making sure we each know that we're there for each other. It's not just on our great days. It's also when we're feeling really low. So that for me has been the most exciting part, is how we model friendship and care for each other in our cast, but also our crew and the whole community behind this movie is just on board, which is the greatest thing to celebrate with them.
I love that. I love that. And of course, fashion plays a major part in this movie. And I remember growing up, I was always plus size. My aunt would want to like dress me in Dress Barn, and I'm like, I don't want to dress in Dress Barn. I'm too young.
Dress Barn.
No, we look like 40-year-old bank tellers in middle school. Like that was the only thing available.
Right. And so now it's so much, it's so changed. Like now I can wear crop tops and I feel fine and I love it. So what do you guys, where are you guys shopping? Like I'm heavy on Shein.
Oh my God. I mean, like I said, well, honestly, I do a lot of like thrifting now and just like finding random stuff where a lot of like,
Talking about where we like to shop. We were talking about where we like to shop as big girls.
yeah. I mean, honestly, I wear a lot of like Carhartt pants and like, and there's this designer, or I shop at Eloquii a lot of online stuff. As a designer called Tyler McGillivray that has some cool pieces, and like ASOS, and there's something on the top of my head. Wild Fang has a lot of cool like suit pieces that are gender inclusive and size inclusive, which I've been really into recently. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mima?
Yeah, ASOS is a big one too. Oh, I love ASOS. Or Cider. Cider is like one of my favorite places to shop. Like I'm always on Cider. First of all, it's cheap. I'm a college student. I don't have money. And it's cute. So yeah.
Claire?
Honestly, Mima, I listened to an interview Mima and Mia did last week, and you mentioned cider and the wormhole I went down of so many great things. Yeah, so I love going for like premiere stuff and for screening stuff. I've been actually going to Bloomingdale's and Nordstrom because they both have some accessible or like inclusive options, which is really dope. I lived in Old Navy and still live in Old Navy during the making of this because I'm not a college student, but I'm an indie filmmaker and I know But yeah, so I get a bunch of like staple pieces from there. But I loved learning about cider, and also I just have been, it's been really fun connecting with folks like from like the Curvy Fashionista and all these different designers who have like really spotlighted the indie designers. A lot of them are in LA, but they're also across the country who are really doing the work. So we're going to be spotlighting that in our social rollout too, of the designers doing the work in inclusive fashion and accessible fashion, right? They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
That's been really fun. That's been really
Nice.
fun.
I could talk to you guys all day,
Where do
but
you like, where do you like shopping?
oh, I like Shein. Yeah, I'm like heavy on
Yeah, that's right.
Shein.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so I'll ask my final question. Can you just talk about the Empire Ways confidence curriculum that is rolling out with the film?
Absolutely. So our confidence curriculum is the legacy of the movie. So this is a movie that makes people feel less alone. The confidence curriculum is a space for them to start having their own conversations about body image, about self-confidence, about feelings that come up from the film. So I did 17 live readings across the country in 2019. And in addition to people feeling so moved and excited about this topic being discussed and seeing these, relationships between friends, family, ourselves, was them saying, what do I do next? Right. This brought up a lot of feelings for me. What do I do next? And so to prevent people from like going down a wormhole with like, not vetted info, I come up from a family of medical folks. My co-creator, Crystal Collins, comes from a family of teachers. And so for us, vetted info is really important. And so we did interviews with our cast, interviews with healthcare providers who believe in the HAES structure, which is health at every size, to really talk about topics covered by the film. And then I host the whole thing, which I had to get back on screen. And I was just like, oh, I have to shower. Oh God. But that was really fun. And it's all free thanks to Procter and Gamble and Gillette Venus, who funded it for $250,000 and put it behind. We wanted to make this accessible to everybody. So the only cost is the cost of a movie ticket to really understand the film. But we use the film like a common language. So if people aren't ready to talk about their own bodies yet, that's okay. They can talk about the characters they saw on screen, and hearing from our actors from their own journeys, these two amazing people, as well as, Holly McDowell, who plays Tina. We have Cassandra, who plays Diamond. We have Daisy, who plays Marcy, as well as our Miss Hall and Jolene Purdy, and Missy Pyle, who plays Rachel, Lenore's mom. Hearing from them and all their different perspectives is really beautiful and powerful. And it's just a very vulnerable space that opens the door for other people to start having those conversations. So we're so excited. I know a lot of nonprofits, a lot of educators, as well as, families and communities are so excited to get this going. And it releases the same day at empirewastefilm.com/curriculum on September 27th.
Sounds amazing. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to speak with me.
You.
I can't wait
Thank
for everyone else to
you.
see the film, and have a good day.
And we'll send Tavi your love.
Bye.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.